Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Today is the last day. Yes, you did make one live. How are you? We're gonna do this very last one today, and then I'll show you how to close up your hoop on the back. So you're gonna need 3 strands. Tired. Do you know what? I sprained all day yesterday, and I woke up and it's rained so far today as well. It's absolutely soggy, like pouring down. So yeah, I'm a bit tired as well. But I think it's because I took a nap yesterday. And I don't know, whenever I wake up from naps, I feel like snow. Are you joking? Snow. That is disgusting. Ugh. But yeah, I feel like every time I take a nap, I wake up like more tired than I was when I fell asleep. I don't know what the deal is. So I've chosen for the very last one a like yellowy kind of green. I'm gonna go turn the music down. I always forget this one's quite loud. Even though I have it like the same level of volume as the other videos, this video is quite loud. So I've chosen this like mossy, dark, yellowy kind of green for the very last one. I just think, what color green have we not used? Because we've used literally all of the greens, haven't we? So we're going to do a couple different stitches in here. Just moving around just so you guys can see. So we're going to do, you can do whichever ones you want actually, but for the outline, I'm doing a split stitch. And then in the sample, I did straight stitches for all of these little lines, and then a stem stitch down the middle. But I don't know, I might change it. So let's begin. For the split stitch, I'm going to do the outline first because one, it takes longest. Literally all you're going to do is split every stitch. So you're going to make every stitch into another stitch except for the first one. So the first one is just like normal. You're going to make small little stitches because of course this is all curves. So you want to make sure you keep your stitches small to go around the curves. And you can do this one of 2 ways. You can go up in the middle of this stitch like this. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So you can come up in the middle like this, or you can make another little stitch, and I mean it, small stitches. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Meg. And put it down into. So I have thread on either side, and this needle's going down into that stitch. So every stitch that you do is going to go into another stitch or up through another stitch, depending on which way you've decided to do it. I kind of think that going down into the stitches is a little bit easier. 1, you can see it better. And 2, you don't get the stitch kind of coming up when you pull your thread up through it. Get out of here. So same rules apply. Keep your stitches really small. You're going to think, Tori, that's too small. But actually, the smaller, the better. You can make them a little bit bigger on the straightaways, but really you should try to keep them the same. And you're just gonna keep on trucking along all the way around. How are you, Meg? How are you, Carolyn? Are you having a good day so far? Hopefully you got more sleep than waking up at 3 or 4 a.m. I absolutely cannot believe that this is the last day. Meg says she went to sleep at 2 a.m. and woke up at 9. Oh my goodness. Why'd you go to sleep so late? Were you packing? Were you out having a party? Carolyn says that she woke up at 4:53. I'm not going to lie, I woke up throughout the night because Jessie normally lays in her bed, which is next to our bed for most of the night. But David wasn't here because of his golf trip. So I went to bed at like 10, I think, and was just like reading my book in bed. And Jessie was like, I'm going to lay in bed too. But I think she thinks that she was saving a spot for David or something because she just only was laying on my side. And I was like, can you just move over? Like, stop laying on my legs. And she's like, no, I'm going to lay on your legs. So I kept having to wake up and like remove her because my legs were going dead. And you wake up and they're all like tingly and like, ugh. Okay, Meg was reading, so that's good. Carolyn says, is Jessie feeling better today? She is. It's been pouring down rain since yesterday, so poor Jessie had to go outside all day yesterday in the rain and then twice this morning. She's already pooped twice. I'm like, goodness gracious, woman. And now she's gone back to bed. Hi, George. I bet you're feeling rough. I hope not, though. So yeah, this stitch does seem to take, well, it's not too long, but it feels like it. Because unlike the back stitch, every stitch gets you farther, you know? For this one, every stitch is in another stitch. So instead of getting a whole stitch length ahead, you're kind of like only getting a half. George is with David on the golf trip, so I'm quite surprised that he's come to say hi. He's gone now, though. No. I've also made a little survey just like the last time. It's not the exact same survey, but some of the questions are the same. And at the end of this survey, if you leave your email, I'm not going to sign you up to a mailing list or anything, but I will send you a little coupon code for 10% off. So if you want to use it for the next Stitch Along, you can do that, because it's going to be in November. I haven't done a design for it yet, but it's on my list. But yeah, it will be in November. So if you want to use it for that, you can use it for that. It's just 10% off. So it's not like loads, but it is a little thank you for filling out the survey. And you can also use it for anything else in the shop. So if you want to get some Christmas ornaments or a little custom hoop or something, I do stocking tags. I can do the wood slice ornaments as stocking tags. Or I know some people use them as like name tags for Christmas dinner. Yeah, Meg said every little bit helps. It's so true. Especially with Etsy. I don't know if you know yet, but Etsy's doing this free shipping thing. But because I made so basically they're saying that your items will show up on like the first couple search pages only if you offer free shipping. But because I set my shop up in the United States, I have to offer free shipping to the United States, which is like 5 to 8 pounds. Pounds meaning money, not pounds meaning weight. So it's like either I need to add that money to the price or just take it away, just eat it. So it's kind of not that fun. So yeah, just to clarify, I'm not offering free shipping. I don't think it's fair, because I would have to offer free shipping everywhere, not just to America. So the way it would work out would be like if I added some of the shipping cost, say to something that's $10 to America, it might be, $7 shipping. But then to England, it might only be $2. So the people in England will be eating that cost. Do you know what I mean? They'll be paying extra for shipping even though they don't need the shipping to America. So I don't think that's fair. Right, so we've come to the point where you need to make some choices. So obviously I can give some suggestions, but you can do it however you want. You can do the split stitch all the way through, and for all of the leaves, you can do a stem stitch all the way through, and then a straight stitch for all of the leaves. You can make it up as you go. It's up to you. So I think I'm going to go with the initial, what I did in the beginning, only because I quite like the look of lots of different stitches together. So I'll do the stem stitch. So if you remember the stem stitch, I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing with my other hand. You're going to make a stitch. Don't go all the way down. You want to leave a loop, and you're going to come up in the middle. And then there's a knot. That's always fun. Yeah. Pull it tight. And then do another one. So it's kind of like staggered bricks on the line. So all the stitches are the same length. They're just kind of on each other. And again, you can continue with the split stitch if you want to. No shame in that game. And then after this, we'll do some straight stitches for the little vines of the leaf. I really need to know what they're called. don't think they're called vines. Veins. That's what it is. Leave it to me. And these straight stitches, I'm just going to tuck up under the stem stitch that we just did. And we're not going to fill it in, we're just going to leave it open. Obviously, if you'd like to fill it in, add another color, you can do that. I would recommend doing it before you do these veins. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time trying to go around all of these. So there we go. There's the very last leaf. Can you believe it? We did it! All right, I'm just going to do a little knot there. And then I'll show you how to move that over. I'll show you how to close up the back. So I'm not going to close up the back of this one because I still have some work to do. If you remember, I didn't finish the kind of aloe looking one, and I also didn't finish the thread painting one, and I want to make sure that I do that because it'll look really nice when it's done. So I'll close up the sample because that's easy peasy. So what you want to do is have a look at your hoop. Let me see if I can get one. Yeah. And if you got a hoop with this green, not green, with this blue garbage on it, you want to try to get all of that off. It's the absolute worst. The other thing that I like to do is that sometimes the manufacturers will stamp the hoop size on the outside. So if they do that, you want to take a little piece of sandpaper and sand that off as well. If it's on the inside like that, that's fine. Don't worry about that because no one's going to see it. So what I like to do is put it flat like this. And you're going to take some scissors, not your thread scissors. That would be absolutely inappropriate. Yeah, I said it, inappropriate. And what you're going to want to do is just going to tidy up this edge because we've been working it. It's kind of fraying on the edges, and you want to have a nice clean edge there. So all that I do is I just trim it down. So if you had a lot more fabric, like this one has more on the edges, I just try to find the shortest bit. So like here, and I'm going to make it all this short. And I'm just going to eyeball it. You don't want it to be too short because we're going to stitch around the edge of this. So you're just going to want to trim off the extra, but you want it all kind of the same. So you don't want this side to be like a really long and this side to be really short. I'm just going to trim it around. Now, some people like to glue. Okay, I'm going to back up. Some people like to cut it even shorter than this and then glue this right here, this fabric, to the inside of the hoop. I don't like to do that because obviously my background is in art history, art education. And in the art world, glue is not good. A lot of times glue will ruin the piece of art. So a lot of times people will cut this even shorter. So like to the tip of my finger right there. And then they'll take glue and put it on here and put it on the inside edge. And they'll go around and clip it like this. Yeah, and then after that, they'll take a piece of cardstock or like scrapbook paper and then make a circle and stick it on the back. So you actually don't see any of the back at all, and you don't see any of this fabric at all. So that's not my favorite. I'll show you the way that I do it, and you can choose which way you feel like you like to do it. Yeah? Because again, there's no right or wrong way. I'm not saying that's the wrong way to do it. I'm just saying that that's not the way that I like to do it. Because the main reason is that sometimes these will get or become a little bit dusty. And if they do, you want to be able to take them out and wash them, or if you can take them out and put them in a square hoop if you want to. Square hoop. That's called a picture frame, okay? Obviously, I've been doing embroidery for too long. A square or rectangle picture frame. You can make it into something like a pillow. It just depends on what you want to do with it. So now you might want to put it on your wall in just this round hoop, and they look quite nice like that. But in a couple years, you might decide, actually, I think I could do something else with that. And you want to have that choice in the future, I guess. So this is what I do. I take just some white thread. I choose white because the way that we'll do it, it's gonna like be on the back a little bit. So you don't really want to see a dark colored thread through your fabric. Okay, very scientific. You just take your white thread and you lay it around the outside like this, and then cut off an amount. It's not very scientific at all. All 6 strands. Thread your needle. And you're gonna do a running stitch. So let me zoom in a little bit, and then you can see. Why did you just go darker? Shouldn't have done that. All you're gonna do is go a running stitch around. So before you even start, I think that you probably noticed I tightened up my hoop. So tighten it as much as you can. If you have one with a screwdriver mark, like a plus or a minus sign in here, and an actual bolt. Do I have any like that? Yeah, this one. So this one has a screwdriver mark and a bolt. You'll have to get some pliers. I actually just have some over here because I was just doing this the other day. Get some pliers. Hold them like this. Put the screwdriver in the screwdriver hole, and you're gonna want to tighten it. Yeah? That's how you do those ones. I'm trying to be comprehensive, okay? Right, so how to finish, after you've kind of pushed your fabric all the way around again, make sure it's nice and tight, make sure your hoop is where you want it to be, tighten it up, everything's good, yeah? You're just gonna do a little running stitch. And you wanna keep it about that far away from the edge. If you get it too close, you're gonna break through the threads in your fabric, and you're gonna make like a slit. You don't want that to happen. And you're just gonna do a little running stitch like this. Pull it through, but not all the way. So you're gonna have something that looks like this. Yeah? And you're just gonna do that all the way around. Just so maybe you can see a little bit better. Obviously, don't pull it all the way through or you'll have to start all over again. So I have a tail here, and then I'm working with the other end. You're gonna go all the way around. It will take a minute, and I'm sorry about that. And then once you get to the end, you're just going to pull both ends of your thread together, and it's going to cinch all of them and close the back. And I like to end with a double knot and then double knot again and then make a little bow. And that way, if you want to undo it, then you can just cut the knot out. You can do something else with your embroidery, or you can just rethread the edges, and then you'll be all good to go. Kind of want to redo my nails today, even though I don't need to. They haven't even grown out that much in a week. But I want to try all the colors. Whoops! So you want to keep going around and around and around. My heating just turned on. I can feel it because I'm hot now. I'm sorry for you having to watch me do this. Oh, we made it. Okay, so you will have extra thread, so don't worry about that, okay? You're gonna pull each one, and I like to try to make them about the same length, but you don't have to. I mean, obviously it's better if they are, just in case. And I'm just gonna do one knot like this and pull it nice and tight. Then do it again and pull it nice and tight again. And you should see it kind of cinch up a little bit more. Do not pull these really, really, really tight or they will snap. I'm gonna say it again. These threads will snap if you pull them really, really tight. So you kind of have to go slowly, a little bit cautiously. So like I said, I do one double knot, then I do another one. Then I do a little bow on the end. And then I just chop these off like that. You can also double knot this bow if you want to. I just do it so that they don't hang down, you know? There you go. So there you have it. That's how I do the back of mine. If you wanted to take it off and do something else with it later, you're just going to cut one of these. I'm not going to do it because obviously I've just spent 5 minutes doing it. So you're just going to cut the thread and then pull it all the way out, and then you'll be back to where you started from. So it's not a big deal at all. This is what it looks like. If you want to hang it up, you can either take a bit of twine or string, or you can do a bow at the top with ribbons. There's all kinds of ways you can do it. But to hang it, this one is too short. Let's see if I have a different one. Here's one that's a little bit longer. So to hang it, I normally take a piece of twine, make a little knot on one end, and then I'm gonna put the loop, it looks like this, put the loop through the gap. And then you can tape it to the wall with a bit of tape. You can take a little, like hang it on something, like if you've got a fireplace or something, you can hang it. You can not even do that at all. Take this off. You can take a nail and put the nail straight into the wall. This is a needle, obviously, but I'm talking about a nail. And you can slide this straight over the nail like that. So it's just a circle on the wall without that line. In each of my embroideries, I always give this just in case you want to hang it up that way, but you don't have to. It's really up to you. You can put it on a bookshelf. You can hang it up on your mantle, just rest it. The only thing I would suggest not doing is putting it where you can see the light through. So you might see my dirty dishes and stuff, but so if you can see the light through it, you'll notice that there's a circle where there's not double fabric. So if you are going to hang it in front of a window or put it kind of somewhere where you know the light's going to go through it, I would suggest taking your embroidery out, putting another piece of fabric behind it, and then rehooping it so there's another piece of fabric here. So you go through 2 layers of fabric. When you close it and you close up both of them at the same time, then you'll have, 2 layers of fabric here, and then kind of 4 on the edges. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, you guys, that is it for me. I've put the, I'm gonna get really sad now. I've put the survey in the link in my profile. So if you would like to take the survey, go and do that. It will get you 10% off. 10% off your next purchase from the shop, whether it be a Stitchalong. If it's a Stitchalong, then save it. Don't use it now. Save it. And yeah, I would just really like the feedback so I can make the next one even better. So I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you're doing flowers, I just want to say, you do have to leave your email at the end of the survey or you will not get the code, but I'll be emailing every person individually just to say thank you, to leave the code. And yeah, so you will have to leave your email, but I won't add you to like a email list or a newsletter or anything like that. It's literally just for the code. So yeah, if you're doing the flowers, I'll see you tomorrow. Woo! I'm already sad about it. But yeah, and if you're doing the leaves, thank you so much for coming every day and watching every day. It's so nice. Don't forget to go and leave some comments on everyone's pictures on the Barmy Fox SAL. You can also go to my tagged photos. If you go to my profile, all the way to the right, there's a little like tag button. If you click that, then there's a bunch of embroideries that people have tagged me in there as well. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Lots of love to all of you. And I'll see you tomorrow for the last day of the flowers. Okay? Bye.